Good evening and welcome to BizNews. I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez.
Good evening.
Tonight we have for our guest Arthur M. Lopez. He is the owner and principal consultant of AML, per his initials, AML Hotel Consultants. Welcome to our show,
Thank
Art.
you, Beth. Thank you, Tony.
Welcome, Primo.
Now, you've been a
Good to be here.
very, very busy man.
I have been.
There's hotels sprouting everywhere, from
Yes.
boutique to luxury hotels.
Yes.
And you've been in the business for how long?
As long as I can remember.
35 years. 35 years.
35 years.
But you're actually the benchmark because you have helped open so many luxury brands, but now also mid-brands. Tell us what's the state of the hospitality industry today?
Today in the Philippines,
Yes.
it's growing. The demand is there. The demand could be better. However, we need infrastructure. So a lot of hotel investors now are preparing for that day when at least the airport is done.
Yes.
You can access the resorts in the, in Visayas and Mindanao.
Yes. When you say the demand is there, let's talk some numbers. How about how many rooms, let's say in Metro Manila alone, for hotels?
Five-star hotels, we have about 8,000 rooms, and with the opening
Right now.
with the opening of the casino hotels, so
Yes.
we'll probably have about
10,000.
10,000. So by the time APEC comes in
2015.
2015, we'll have more than enough.
Because they require 10,000,
Yeah,
at
they
least
require about
10,000 rooms.
10,000 rooms
Well, what is the actual demand? 20,000
for
hotel rooms.
in general.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the actual demand is 20,000. During the peak season, yes. When we have conventions and conferences.
Yeah.
But the occupancy varies between the Bay Area, where the casinos are, where from Manila Hotel all the way down to
Bay Area have lower occupancy rates, no?
much lower
Than
occupancy
the
rate.
Makati
Yes.
or Ortigas hotels.
The demand is very strong in the Makati area.
Business
And
hotels.
Ortigas. And Alabang is doing very well.
Alabang, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Bellevue.
Acacia.
Yeah,
Bellevue.
Bellevue is doing
Yes.
very well. I was telling Beth,
Yeah.
we got our money back there in less than 5 years.
Less
than
Three
5 years,
properties-
huh?
Three properties.
Unheard of for
Yeah.
hotels.
Why is the demand there?
Because of the BPOs.
BPO there?
That's right,
No,
BPOs.
overall, what spurs the demand for hotel rooms in Manila and other cities in the
Mainly
Philippines?
business.
Business,
Tourists,
yeah.
not much. Because this
Mainly
is
business.
mainly business, yeah.
So part of the boom in business is
Yes.
the greater demand
Correct,
for rooms.
correct.
Uh-huh.
When
That,
there's...
that explains why Bellevue in Alabang is doing very well.
Yeah.
Acacia, how is it doing there? Acacia Hotel.
It's okay. They're doing well under a new owner.
They are above water.
I hope so.
I hope so. then in Makati,
Crimson is also there. They just opened
Yes.
a
Crimson,
nice
yeah.
property.
Yes.
yeah, you manage Crimson.
No, I don't. That's
Crimson's by Philinvest, no?
Philinvest, yes.
They're also doing well.
They're doing well as well.
And in Makati, all the business hotels are doing very well.
All the businesses are doing very well. So.
But the occupancy rate in Makati is what? Outside of Shangri-La are
Oh,
actually
in general,
lower.
they should be hitting about 70%.
70, yeah.
But the rates, I believe, has softened a bit.
Soften a bit.
Again,
yeah.
because of demand.
Yeah.
Probably less demand.
Yeah.
And newer
Or
hotels,
seasonality with-
newer hotels opening.
What is the
Yes.
price range for a 5-star room?
Right now,
$200? Less.
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 I would say in pesos about 6,000 pesos.
6,000.
Yeah.
The 6,000 is only a pensione in Europe.
I know.
Yeah, 6,000.
But there are two or
Without
three.
breakfast.
There are 2 or 3 hotels that are in the 8,000 to 10,000.
That would include what? The Shangri-La,
Shangri-La, Fairmont.
Fairmont.
Yeah.
Fairmont is high-end hotel.
No, Fairmont is Raffles.
Or Raffles.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There are 3 new hotels in Makati, no?
Yeah, Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn.
Yes.
What?
Fairmont is new.
Yeah, the Fairmont. It's new.
And there's a new brand there that just opened, di ba?
In Makati.
Yeah. On what used to be the parking lot of the buses.
That's the Fairmont.
Fairmont.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the Fairmont.
That's
yeah.
the Fairmont. Yeah.
Then in Ortigas, you have the Shangri-La again.
Shangri-La, Marco Polo is opening as well soon.
in
Another
Ortigas?
Marco Polo in Ortigas. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Then also the Crown Crown Plaza, Guacom Bay. No?
Yeah, Plaza.
Then in fourth, how many hotels are rising?
There's the Grand Hyatt,
Grand
the new
Hyatt.
one, and the Shangri-La.
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 Yeah.
Both of them will be the main or
And SIDA also opened there. Ayala Hotel, SIDA.
SIDA.
Yes.
How do you spell
SIDA.
SIDA?
SEDA. Silk.
Silk.
Yeah, SIDA, they call it SIDA.
Is that the Singaporean or Thai?
Local, Ayala
Local.
brand.
Yeah.
Those are the premium hotels.
Yeah, but there are several hotels that are now under construction.
Yeah.
And one of them is the Hotel of Asia, which with the 101 group hotels of Injab. And I believe this will be one of the fastest growing brand in the country.
101.
101 hotels.
Why do you call it 101?
I really never asked the owner. I'm there.
101 is better than perfect, no?
Better than
Yeah,
perfect.
because 100 is perfect. And you add 1
Yeah.
for euphony, for feng shui or what?
I guess for Feng Shui,
Or
it's
for memory
it's more
recall.
than it's better than 1. But they're building a 526 room hotel in
Single structure?
single structure
Where?
near Mall of Asia. It's already should be opening next
500
year.
will be one of the largest
5
in
to
the
6,
area.
yes, one of the largest.
Could be larger than
and
Philippine
this
Plaza.
will be one of the best 3-star properties.
One of the best.
Yeah, and then
On a 5-star lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're opening also in the Visayas.
Yeah, in Injab Tower in Iloilo. And then Injab is also involved with the Jinjiang Group. So
With
we're
Carlos Chan.
constructing, with Carlos, Mr. Carlos Chan. We're doing 2 properties at the
Injab
moment.
is Ed Garcia,
Yeah, Edgar.
the guy who built the chain, the Mang Inasal chain
Mang Inasal
of
chain. Very successful
grilled
young
chicken.
businessman.
Yeah. He's our youngest billionaire. No?
Yeah, he is.
So there's going for Hotel 101. There's going to be one here, one in
No,
Visayas.
no, there probably there will be
There'll be more.
probably another 2 coming up, and I can't disclose the location. There's going to be another
So,
5-star location,
Yes.
a 3-star
Three-star
rate
rate.
with a 5-star look. So that's how I
So
position it.
How much is a room cost for the Hotel 101, for
for
example?
101 is
$100.
about 3,000. No. It's
Lower
it's
than
a 3-star.
$100?
Oh yeah, about 3,500 on the average.
3,000, that's about $60.
Yeah, but you're looking at volume.
Yes. And is the trend going more towards that? But
Yes.
before you answer that, we're going to cut the short break.
Okay.
You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So, Art, the biggest growth trending now is the mid.
Yeah.
Then 101, in effect, will be building in the next 3 years 4 hotels.
The next 3 years, more than 4.
5
All over the
hotels.
country.
Yeah, 5 hotels in 5 locations
Yeah.
with combined roommates of how many rooms?
Well,
About 2,000.
2,500.
yeah, I would
2,000.
say about 2 to 3,000.
2 to 3,000.
But there's demand for because
This is the mid-level.
mid-level.
Yeah.
So,
There's demand. This is the middle businessman.
middle businessman.
Yeah.
Local.
Local, mainly local. But of
Yes,
course,
mainly
with that
local.
rate, you'll be attracting foreign,
Yes.
especially in a good location.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because the advantage of such hotels that you have the reputation, reliability, efficiency,
Yeah.
and reasonable rate.
The most important is management.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
yeah.
everyone's getting
Reputation.
into this middle, too. There's
Yeah.
Robinsons, there's SM that's
Oh, yeah.
going into this.
Yes, almost everybody is getting into the tourism because the Department of Tourism is predicting that by 2016 there will be about 66 million domestic tourists
Yeah, 66
traveling
million
around the country.
domestic
So
tourists,
if you
yeah.
capture only 5 to 10% of that, you'd be okay.
Yes.
3 million a year. Huh?
Yeah. What we need is the infrastructure to support that.
That's right. You need
Yeah.
infrastructure to support that.
Yes.
So not only for Metro Manila, but also for Visayas and Mindanao, particularly Visayas and Mindanao. And the government has to support infrastructure in the resort because that's where the greatest demand is.
Resort.
Resorts and from my experience with a very nice resort in Bohol, the Bellevue Resort,
Yeah.
Yes.
we're running very good occupancies, very good
Bellevue
rate.
is in Panglao.
In Panglao,
It's
right?
newly opened, no?
Newly open, right? The only five-star hotel right on the beach.
Yeah.
Okay, all the rest are just overlooking the water.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference.
Yes.
And over 60% are local.
Local.
Yeah. So locals.
The locals have money.
Locals we have money, even the middle class, because when they go on holiday, they want to stay in a nice property. You know?
And also the assurance of safety, no?
Yeah.
Hindi papasukin ng kwarto mo, i-ransack
correct.
yung safety deposit box mo, mawawala yung luggage mo.
Right.
Saka kung may mangyari, sagot ng management.
Correct.
Hindi yan magtuturo sa iba.
Yeah,
Iba.
exactly.
What's the running rate, to give us an idea, on the one in Bohol?
Bohol is very expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. Even the
It's about
small hotels.
12,000.
Yeah, about 12,000.
Yeah.
And yet you say locals actually
Pay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Filipinos
And that's
are
from
not
my
poor.
experience. Yeah, that
12,000, but that's cheaper than say Boracay, which goes for what? Shangri-La is what?
Twice.
At least
More than
15,000 per room, no?
about 15,000. Depends on the season as well.
Yeah.
So we also have promo rates. Sometimes it goes
But
down to
you
8,000.
opened what? The last 3 months in Bohol?
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
6 months ago.
And you have been doing what occupancy rate?
We're doing over 68%
68%. That means you're above break even.
About break even, but the
And-
most important
Yeah.
is the rate.
Rate.
You could
At
have
12,000?
12,000.
12,000 you
Yeah,
do.
about 12,000. Again, it
68.
varies. There are some days when we sell it at 8,000.
Did you use
supply and demand?
Did you use
Yes.
borrowed money to construct the hotel?
No,
That means your
That's-
break even is zero.
zero.
So
We don't have any
68%,
borrowings.
68% is all profit.
All profit.
Yeah.
And
This how many room hotel?
this is a 150-room hotel.
Very small hotel.
Well, for a resort,
But it's good for that.
It's perfect. You
It's
can.
perfect
You don't
for
want a
that
bigger one.
place,
That's why you
yes.
can charge more. You have personalized service. So
But 150 rooms, you don't have economies of scale.
you have the minimum for me is about 100.
100, yeah. Because Hyatt before, the old Hyatt on Ross Boulevard, even 100% occupancy and less than 200 rooms, you did not make money.
The problem is the rate.
All right.
It's
It's a question of rate.
It's a question of rate. You can run 101% occupancy, but if you have a soft rate, it will not filter down to your gross operating profit, EBITDA.
Yeah,
Yes.
but,
The two most expensive items in running hotels, labor and electricity.
electricity, huh?
Electricity.
And
And in
electricity.
labor, I think the government wants to kill the industry because now they are
Minimum
abolishing. They're abolishing the. There are
Casual.
3 bills pending in Congress to abolish casual workers. Now
really?
we are a seasonal business.
Yeah,
Yes.
Pastor.
I mean, if we don't have banquet, we cannot have people on standby and unpaid. But this is worldwide. So I don't. But I think
You mean you pay people even if they don't do anything?
you do anything, just
Simply
sitting down.
because bawal ang casual.
Yes. So you have
Dapat
to.
yan on call. No?
You have to.
On call.
Well, that's the way it should be. You have permanent workers that to service your normal business, but when business is up during the high season,
You're hiring carpenters.
Yeah.
You're putting carpenters on your payroll,
Correct.
even if they have nothing to construct.
Exactly.
Simply because they have met the 6-month probationary
That's
period.
right.
That is
So,
a crazy idea.
It is. It is a crazy.
Crazy,
idea.
and considering that there are 12 million unemployed or underemployed people.
Exactly. So
Very huge of unemployed labor.
I think this more. I don't want to talk about politics, but this is just to win brownie points with.
Brownie
Yeah.
points because they have to make up for their pork barrel taint.
And this is not just going to affect just the hotel industry. It will affect actually a lot of other industries.
Yes.
No, it could infect the other industries like retailing, di ba? Which is
Yeah.
also very seasonal, no?
Yeah, it will affect.
Construction.
Yeah, this
di ba?
is across the board.
Yeah,
no, it's
across,
not only
yeah.
for the industry. So.
That's right.
So we
So-
don't have a united stand on this yet, but again, and when that happens, then nobody will be hiring.
Yeah.
So as you said, there are 12 million unemployed.
Yeah.
So it's
But the
something.
hotel industry itself actually attracts a lot of jobs already as it
Yeah.
is, with all the tourists that's coming
Yeah.
in,
And
domestic
and the
travel.
hotel industry provides quick gestation jobs. No?
Exactly.
Because you are not building a factory while you import machine, install mo, dry run mo. Takes about 2 years to 3 years.
Yes.
Samantalang hotel, on day one, you employ people while
you
constructing
employ
the
people.
building.
Yeah, correct.
Or the facilities.
Right. So, yeah, and with that, with the prediction of about 10 million tourists in 2016,
Yeah, 10 million,
66 million domestic tourism, and yet the Board of Investments has abolished the tax incentive for new projects.
Wala na tourism incentives plan?
Well, for Metro Manila, for
Metro Manila, bawal na?
bawal na in Cebu, in
Bohol, di ba?
Bohol,
Bawal na
also.
rin.
Yeah. So, if you have to encourage people to build hotels.
Yeah.
But again, this is short-sighted because they only want to increase the tax collection and killing the goose that lays the
What are the
golden egg.
incentives
right.
before this abolition? Kailan bang abolition?
Is it
They just
effective?
abolished it in last June.
So it's
Before
effective.
this, you used to get what? What kind of incentives?
The
Tax-free
five-
importation of equipment.
No, that one is still on.
Still on,
It's the 5-year income tax holiday, which is a big
ITH.
help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you also have a net operating loss carryover? Income tax
yeah.
holiday, meaning for the next 5 years from day one of operation, you don't pay any income tax,
Yeah, that's right.
which is
Yeah.
32% of your
32% of your gross.
gross.
Right.
No, of your net.
No, sorry,
Net.
of your net. Yeah, of your net. Yeah.
And that's a big amount, no ba?
It's a big
32%.
amount,
That's more than your profit, actually.
Correct.
Kasi ang margin nyo sa hotel is about 10% to 15%. Or more.
If you have loans and if you have, yes.
Yeah. But if you don't have loans funded by equity, anything about zero is very good.
Of course.
All right, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. We're speaking. Everybody will have
sila.
to watch.
Look, I have to do. Even sila tape are watching.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So Art, we're looking at for this year, maybe about 5.5 million visitors.
Yes.
And that's about 1.5 trillion in gross receipts. That comes out to about 750 billion in terms of revenues.
Revenues, yeah.
And it represents a huge chunk of our GDP. 6.7% was the latest one that I got. So in terms of job generation,
Trillion?
1.6,
But,
1.5
normally,
trillion in gross receipts.
You're referring to
Gross
tourists,
receipts.
6 million tourists.
Yeah.
Usually you multiply by $800, diba? O $1,000.
$1,000.
O $1,000, that means $6 billion. $6
Yeah.
billion times 50, 3 what? 3 trillion? Tama?
Yeah, about 3 trillion. That's
3 trillion.
That's a lot.
It's bigger than your figure.
Yeah.
That's the figure that I got from the DOT.
Okay.
The key point is it's actually about 6.7% of GDP.
Yeah.
That really is a lot.
That's right. That's why Malaysia.
Tourism?
Tourism.
7% of GDP?
Yeah, that's what it said.
That's why Malaysia is very prosperous.
Oh, they are the number 10 destination in
Yeah.
the world, huh?
Yeah, you know,
22 million
22
tourists.
million. There's no minimum wage there, and it's much lower than the Philippines. You know, Philippines has the highest minimum wage in Asia Pacific,
Yes.
and yet, you know, everybody there either has a car or a motorbike and a house.
In Malaysia,
You know,
no?
in Malaysia,
Malaysia,
and here, you know, our minimum wage is higher, and yet we have
No, we are above average. Di naman tayo highest.
No,
I
we're
think
the
Malaysia
highest.
is the highest and Singapore.
which one? Minimum? They have no minimum wage. There's none.
Okay.
They're much below the Philippines.
And yet they have that, and we don't.
Yeah, and yet the people are prosperous. So that's the reason why. And that's all because of tourism.
Yes. So this thing that taking out the incentives, that's gonna.
Yeah, well,
Anyway, in a booming market, yung mga tax, that should not be our worry kasi it's booming.
yeah, booming.
Oh,
Then you don't need incentive anymore.
Yes.
But now, since we're just starting. We're building up the numbers. You need to have accommodation.
Yeah.
So if you have 10 million tourists in 2016, how can you accommodate all of them?
10 million tourists, you need about what? 40,000 rooms.
Well,
Tama ba?
if you say 10 million all over the country, you need to really equate how many are going to Metro Manila, how many are going to Cebu, in key
Kasi
capital areas.
what's our stock of hotel rooms? We are doing now 4 million tourists. 20,000?
All over the country?
Yeah.
I would say about 20,000.
Oh, so kung magta 10 million, we need at least 40,000 rooms.
Yeah,
And investors would like to build those rooms.
correct.
Ba? The average construction cost of the room is what? $100,000?
No, that's for 3-star below.
$100,000?
So 5-star is much.
5-star what? $250,000?
300,000.
300,000?
Per
Mahal
room.
pala,
You
no?
cannot build a Shangri-La anymore for.
15 million per room.
You cannot build a Shangri-La for less than 300,000.
Only 15 million
yes,
per room?
Yes, of course.
Wow, mahal ah.
You cannot build a Grand Hyatt for less than 300,000.
Yeah.
Because of the fit out, you got to have
fit
Yeah,
luxurious
that's right.
fit out,
Yeah.
and that's the expensive one. Just like Soler.
Fit
Yeah.
out is more expensive than the concrete room,
Oh, yeah,
diba?
that's
More
concrete,
expensive. It's about triple.
Yeah,
oh.
look what
It triples the cost of the room.
Correct.
oh.
Look at Soler. It's really a world-class property.
Yeah, $1 billion.
Yeah, I would say world-class, the only world-class property.
Yeah.
Yung palang salita doon, fit out. Kung ano nilalagay mo. Carpeting, wallpapering,
Everything.
decor,
Wall floor,
furniture,
surround furniture.
bathroom,
IT is
amenities.
important.
Okay, but it's really the fit. It's what guest sees.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't see behind the walls.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, behind the wall is
It
just.
is the one that
expensive.
completes the travel experience.
Correct.
One he remembers
Exactly.
forever, no?
Especially
He
for
comes home
resorts.
with a bad impression,
Yeah.
patay na yung hotel na yun.
Correct.
Diba? Oo.
Can we really reach the 10 million visitors coming in? Because how many flights do we
I
have
have to be
right
as
now?
optimistic as the Secretary.
10
of
million, I
Tourism.
think is even conservative.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Philippines is in the center of Asia, diba? 1 hour from Hong Kong.
I know, but the problem
The
is
flights. I was asking about the flights.
Seats.
Do we have enough seats?
Flights.
The problem is not really the number of seats; it's the number of aircraft that can land.
Yeah.
Because right now you're experiencing over an hour delay because of traffic
Congestion.
congestion.
No,
In Bohol, when there's an aircraft on the ground, no second aircraft can land. So they have to circle until the other one takes off. But this is a major destination. They're talking about airports.
In
but-
Bohol, if you cannot take off with an aircraft, just go by boat to Cebu.
Yeah, you can go by ferry.
Ferry.
But it's about what, 1 hour, 2 hours?
About an hour.
An hour, oh.
Yeah.
Which is actually a very good ride.
I know. But most tourists, they want to land and be in the
Yeah.
In the resort itself, yeah.
Within 10 minutes.
within 10
Iba yun
minutes.
ang
The
rule.
problem with most of our resorts, we talked about this earlier,
Yeah.
you arrive by plane, you take a bus to somewhere,
Yeah.
then you take a jeepney to another point, you take
Yeah,
a tricycle to arrive to reach the resort. This is
Like
ridiculous.
Boracay, no? Kung punong-puno yung Katiklan, you go to Kalibo,
Yeah.
and you take a bus going to Katiklan.
Yeah,
That's
correct.
about what, 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2
One-
hours.
2 hours.
That's a long
Pagdating mo
ride.
sa Katiklan, you wait for a boat ride going to Boracay Island.
Yeah.
Kung luxury ka, sasakay ka kagad sa speedboat ng Shangri-La,
Yeah.
o kaya speedboat ng Discovery. Otherwise, you pipila ka sa bangka.
Correct.
Okay,
I mean, this is very...
kasabay mo yung
Yeah.
kasabay mo yung Great Anwas. Diba? Diba?
As part of your experience.
Yeah, travel
There
experience.
you go.
So tourists really don't
So
don't
you
like
really need to boost infra.
Yeah.
that. You have to do that.
But in fairness to this administration, they are spending next year 400 billion in infra. 400 billion in infra.
Well,
Mostly in tourism destinations.
That's the plan.
Yeah. No, well, I found out that they have plenty of money because pork barrel, sa presidente pala, 1.4 trillion ng kanyang
Yeah.
pork barrel. So, 400 dali lang hilitin yun. Plus the private sector investment in infra, PPP.
Well, why wait next year? Do it now.
Well, the bidding takes time. The bidding takes time. But really, our efforts are decrepit, no? To say the least. Ba? our airport is behind the times. I think it's
Yeah.
the most primitive right now in ASEAN countries.
ASEAN countries.
Including Cambodia. Cambodia is building a very
Yeah.
modern airport with
Even
2
Myanmar is
runways.
better.
Even Bali itself,
Yeah.
there's how many runways? At least 2 runways.
Yeah, you need to have 2 runways.
Bali Island lang yan, ha? An island that you can put inside Laguna Lake.
Yeah. So, I mean, we can't even have a 380 land in our airports.
Yeah.
If you want to double the
Yeah.
tourism, you have to have all this big
You need to have
aircraft landing.
the seats to bring them
Not
in.
the, not the
380
small.
yata requires what?
Yeah.
2.5 kilometer runway.
Plus
no?
the infrastructure to,
And because it has a very
Wide
wide
body.
wingspan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews. All right, your services include opening several hotels. Can you run us through from start, like from breaking ground all the way to when the hotel opens? What exactly do you do?
well, I do initially the feasibility, site feasibility, whether, it is a viable location, because building hotel is location, location, and location,
Yes.
no other.
Yes.
Okay. Then afterwards, the owners hire their architects, their engineers. So I work with them on the design development. All the concepts, the vision of the owners. But my job, more importantly, is to make sure that you can efficiently manage the hotel, not only the loop, but as far as the operations is concerned. And this is where
The back room.
the back of the
room.
house, we
Yes.
call it. And
Yes.
this is very, very important, because this is the engine of the hotel.
Yes.
So then afterwards, the interior designers come in. So I also work with them on the space planning in public areas, in the rooms. Then the technical areas like air conditioning, kitchen, very important.
Yes.
You have to build a very efficient kitchen.
Yes.
And
IT.
yeah, IT, yes. IT now you can buy canned
Software.
what we call software. These are the property management system. Okay, so that could, from front office to accounting. When it's ready, it's all for presentation to the owner. When he approves it, then we start all the detail work.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work to it.
Yes.
By the way, Arthur, just to correct my figures now. In 2012, the arrivals in the ASEAN countries now, Philippines, 4.27 million tourists, Vietnam, 6.8, Thailand, 22 million, Malaysia, 25 million, Indonesia, 8 million, Myanmar, 600,000. In terms of revenue in 2012, the income of Cambodia was $1.8 billion, Malaysia, $20 billion, Indonesia, $8 billion, Philippines, $4 billion, Singapore, $19 billion, Thailand, $30 billion, and Vietnam, $6.6 billion. So $4 billion for the Philippines, that's time is rounded of 50, about less than 200 billion pesos pala, not trillion.
Yeah.
200 billion. But tourism has plenty of multiplier effect.
Yeah.
What is the ratio ba? 4 times or 10 times?
About 10 times.
10 times. So this $4 billion is essentially $40 billion.
Correct. Yeah.
Time is 50, that's 2 trillion pesos.
That's right.
So tama din pala yung figures mo, 2 trillion. Terrific ang impact niya, no? If we can just manage our infrastructure.
That's
That's
what it's
the
all
main
about.
key. That's
Our
the main
brand building. So if you travel to Europe, you are mistaken for a Chinese, a Japanese, an Indonesian, Malaysian, but not as a Filipino. Wala tayong brand building. Diba?
Yeah, that's right.
Diba? In America, nasupplant na tayo ng Vietnamese food.
Correct.
Walang Filipino food na may pagmamalaki.
Yeah, we
Diba?
don't even have good restaurants overseas, Filipino
Pero
restaurants.
mga Vietnamese food, kalat na kalat sa Paris.
Yeah,
Oo.
correct. Vietnamese, Thai.
Sa Paris, I don't know of
Thai
any
food.
Filipino store. Pero ang daming Vietnamese food.
Yeah.
O Indonesian restaurant, ganun dami. especially in Netherlands, which used to conquer Indonesia.
Yeah.
So kulang tayo ng brand building. No?
Correct.
We are not associated with the exotica and culture and history of Asia.
Yeah.
Why? When we were the first republic in Asia, all the other countries in Asia, in ASEAN, did not even exist when we were born
Correct.
in 1890.
And I believe we taught them tourism too.
Yeah,
Thailand,
we also, yeah.
Cambodia. You know, they all came
Yeah,
here
they
before.
all came here because we were doing trade
Yeah.
with Galleon. Trade.
That's right.
May Acapulco, layo na yun, di ba? Oh.
Yeah.
We were doing trade with the Emperor of China. The one who
Yeah.
built the Great Wall of China and the Forbidden City was a good friend of the Sultan of Sulu.
Yeah.
Oh. So, we were the original tourists, we were the original OFW, and we were also the original hoteliers and hosts of these people from
Correct.
abroad. Oh.
Yeah.
And yet, we lost the momentum.
Well,
But now we're getting it. Are we trying to get it back? Because
trying to
Forbes
get
is saying that
yeah.
we're the diamond
right.
in the rough
And
right
everybody wants to invest in tourism in the Philippines. Locals and foreign.
Because we give so much value to the tourist dollar.
Correct.
diba?
Correct. Good value.
Because,
Value for money.
Firstly, not there are the people, di ba? Friendly, warm, hospitable, di ba? To a fault, di ba?
Well, there are two things that we need to improve. Well, we mentioned infrastructure.
Yes.
And number two, very important, is peace and order.
Peace and order.
You know, you don't know how many tourists are robbed every day. You don't read it in the papers.
Yeah. O, lalo na sa Ermita, no?
Ermita, from the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, every
Airport,
tourist
grabe,
here,
oh.
yeah.
Sa airport pa lang, inaagaw na ng standby yung bag mo.
Or you get way late
Fake yung taxi
along
driver.
the way.
oh.
You get way late.
If you get the right taxi, ayariin kang MMDA doon sa may kanto ng airport. Sasabihin, swerving.
Yeah.
You know why swerving?
Yeah, that's right.
Kasi it's a traffic violation.
Yeah.
Ang multa is 1,000 pesos.
Yeah.
So the traffic officer will give you 50% discount, 500, just to let you go. Ganong kahirap ang ating
Also
tourism.
in front of Resorts World, there's one guy there, you know, doing the same thing.
Ang daming mga hold up sa
Yeah.
mga intersection natin. Wala silang pakialam kung tourist ka, balikbayan ka, basta
don't
may
care.
dilensya
But
sila.
this is nothing new. Why is it not?
No, but it's a matter of political will.
Why is it
Yeah.
not being?
Well, as
Sa
Tony said,
matter of
political will.
Matuwid na
really-
daan din nila naintindihan dyan sa may airport, paglabas sa airport.
So really, infra and peace, that's part of peace and order.
Yes.
So the tourists here get fleeced, you know, but still don't read about it.
Although in fairness, in Hanoi and Saigon, dami din nabibictimize ngayon ng mga foreign tourists, no?
Well, depends where you go, but here it starts from the airport.
Yeah. Although doon hindi na...
So why do you think people don't declare they have more than $10,000? If you declare it at the airport, what will happen, Tony?
ititip ka.
Oh. You know, all these people, if you have $10,000 coming in, you have to declare it, right?
Yes.
But, you know, if you declare,
Baka itip ka ng customs people. No?
the moment you were
How much
out,
dollars you have?
terrible.
$10,000. Yeah.
so the moment you're out, you're... you said,
Ano
get-
ka na?
they get their
Branded
cut
ka na.
Dead-
Branded
dead
ka na.
So we need to improve, you know,
Peace and
security,
order.
peace and order, honesty.
Yan, honesty.
Yes.
So we need to inculcate tourism to our people.
Paglabas mo lang sa NAIA, walang reliable transportation. Reliable na safe, honest, and will bring you to your destination hotel.
Right.
Kasi, minsan kasi kasama ng luggage mo sa likod, may tao, hold-upper.
Correct.
Diba?
Yeah.
So how can tourists actually protect themselves? They need to be booked at hotels that
That's why they
they
go
have
to
transport-
five-star hotels.
Yeah,
Five-star
that pick
hotel,
them
oh.
up and
Yeah.
That's why nga yung mga businessman's hotel na reliable, may pangalan.
Yeah.
Because they have a reputation to protect and to for it to prosper.
yeah. So we're having to fend for ourselves, basically,
Yeah. Tourists.
for now.
Yeah. So
But you're also the president of the hotel.
the Philippine Hotel Federation.
yes.
I used to be was formerly known as the Philippine Owners Federation. So this is an association of hotel owners.
Yeah.
How many are you in the
Developers.
federation?
Well, we are 55, all the big brands and all the
Representing
developers.
how many rooms?
Well, 55.
90%?
I would say about 90%.
90% of the hotel rooms. Ano nga yung main problem nyo? Your main problem is the demand. The demand is there.
The demand is there. You know, all you have to do is harvest it, but you need the right implements. Like, again, we discussed, it
Yes.
goes back to infra,
Yeah,
goes back
infra.
to peace and order.
Yeah.
It's there. I mean, people will build more hotels here. Also, not only in Metro Manila, but in Visayas and Mindanao.
All
Because
right.
the built-in attractions are there. And the
Look at
people are there.
Davao. You know, Duterte is doing a good job there in peace and order. So
Yes.
hotels are sprouting in Davao.
Yeah.
You have Radisson that just
Kasi
opened there.
no
Yeah.
hanky-panky after 6
Yeah,
o'clock.
Seda just opened there, and they're all doing very well.
Okay, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back.
Arthur, you are now involved in how many hotel projects? Half a dozen?
Well, six
Six.
projects.
Yeah, half a dozen. No?
Yeah.
Most of them are 5-star and 3-star.
No, well,
Middle level.
middle level.
Middle level,
Yeah.
3-star rate with 5-star
Five-star
look,
look.
in a 5-star
Five-star
location.
location.
And this
That's
is where
that's 101.
and this is where the demand is strongest
Yes,
right now.
yes.
Then looking forward, our tourism potential, if we just get over this infra problem, airport problem,
Peace and
peace and
order.
order problem, we really will be the number one destination in Southeast Asia.
We do
Can we do 25 million as Malaysia is doing now?
Yeah, well, Malaysia, 25 million is easy because of the border, you know, from Thailand.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but probably
Nagkakarga lang ng
Yeah,
gasolina kasi
sure.
yun, eh, no?
yeah. So
Tourist
so,
na
so
kagad
maybe
yun.
and also Singapore.
And Singapore,
So maybe
yeah.
the
Yeah.
pure tourist that comes from neither of these borders is probably half of that. So we do better than Malaysia.
Kasi sila very loose ang
Yeah.
definition nila ng tourist. You stay overnight or 24 hours ba?
Correct. Yeah.
Sometimes nga 3 hours, tourist ka
No,
na.
so
no?
long as you enter with a foreign
O,
passport.
tapos magbayad ka ng travel tax
Tourist.
when you depart,
Correct.
you're a
Yeah.
tourist.
Yeah.
Even if you just bought 10 liters of gasoline or a
Yeah.
pack of cigarette, tourist na yan. Samantalang sa atin, the average stay is what? 3 days, no?
Yeah. No. Now it's 1 month.
1 month ang
No,
average
sorry.
stay.
No, average stay?
Oh.
Yeah.
About 3 days.
3
sorry,
days,
I thought.
oh.
But you can get a visa free now
For a
for 30
month.
days.
1 month. And one of the longest staying tourists here are the Russians.
The Russians.
The Russians.
In fact,
Right.
we just got bookings for 2 groups of Russian tourists. They're staying 5 days.
5 days.
They will eat and drink in the hotel. So their budget is about $500 a day.
Yeah.
That's good.
Russians.
Yeah.
Actually, the longest staying are the Koreans.
Yeah.
They marry.
Koreans, yeah.
They marry and run their own hotels,
Yeah.
put up their own bars.
Correct. But they tend to, use their own
Wives.
properties
Yes.
or where they congregate the
Yes.
most.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the outlook's really very good for tourism.
Very good.
Given
Yeah.
enough incentives.
Yeah.
Given enough good climate
Yes.
for doing business.
Yes. And Secretary Menes, is doing a good job despite all the odds.
Congratulations to Mon.
Yeah, congratulations to Mon.
Congratulations and more
one of
power
the
to
best
you,
things
Art.
that happened to our tourism, si Mon Jimenez. But
Yeah.
he should do more, no?
Yeah, that's right. He can do more, but he needs the support
Yes.
of the rest of the
Yeah.
Government and the private sector.
Private sector.
Well,
Infra and
congratulations
peace
to
and
you,
order.
Arthur.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
More,
having me here.
more power to you, Art. All right, you've watched another episode of Biz News. I'm Elizabeth Lee together with Tony Lopez. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night and God bless. Thanks for watching.